At the end of the day, it's like you take it day by day, and like when you're not doing what you usually do, during normal times, it's like every day is like finding out like how to like make it productive and like how to not just sink into like being unproductive and just like wallowing. So
yeah, wallowing is a good word. It's sort of a lethargy kind of word.
Exactly, lethargy. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Like
because that's how I find out. Like if I can drag my ass down to the gym or drag my ass outside, just go for a walk, just anything, just something that's gonna get the blood moving and just get rid of a bit of monotony. So monotony is just a bastard.
Facts. You gotta stay active, and you gotta make sure to just like, have something that you're obsessed with that you can actually like wake up in the morning to like actually be eager to do. Because if you don't do that, I feel like it's just like you end up being like this cycle, like a downward spiral where it's just like you don't do anything for like the whole time you have free. And it's like two types of people. I feel like there's people who like take it in a way where it's like they're very productive during the pandemic because they're using this time to like work on other projects and actually like better themselves. And there's people who's like the other end of the spectrum where it's like, bro, I'm depressed. Like I'm just watching Netflix all day, playing video games, eating nachos, getting fat, not working out, not doing anything, right?
Yeah, but there's two sides to that though as well, because I mean, like I've said to you before, like I never go to the gym to go and get a six pack. I go to the gym to balance my lifestyle.
Exactly.
I really
Makes
enjoy
sense.
going to a restaurant. I really enjoy just eating what I want to eat and sit and have nachos or whatever it is. But it has to be a balance. I call it paying my dues. That's how I kind of explain
that's
it.
Exactly.
I'm paying my dues.
Yeah, that's the right way of seeing it. Because at the end of the day, it's like you can't just be eating every day and like sleeping every day and not exercising. Because it's like there needs to be a balance to it. Like you said, it's like paying your dues at the end of the day. So everybody got different goals, but I feel like it's essential, especially during these times where like we're more like sedentary lifestyle type of thing. Because everybody's at home, everybody's doing Zoom calls for their work and stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So that leads us into the first subject of the day: happiness, bro.
Happiness.
Yeah.
What's your definition of happiness?
My definition of happiness is like being in a state of like joy and fulfillment. You feel fulfilled.
Right.
You feel like you've accomplished like a great deal of what you wanted to do, at least in this particular moment in life, and you don't have any conflicts with yourself. Like something is left undone. You know what I mean? I feel like it's satisfaction in a way. And the thing is, there's a saying that humans are never like satisfied. Like they're always like looking for something else, and that makes sense. So it brings us into like a paradox, right?
So like that would be my next question then is, do you think that happiness is a constant state?
It's not. I don't think it is. I think, they always talk about like the pursuit of happiness, right? And I think that's why.
Sure.
Because it's like every time you do something or you accomplish something, you're happy for a certain period of time because you got that thing, but then you get used to having it. Your brain just gets like, accustomed to it, and from that moment on, it's like, now I need to move on to the next thing. And I was reading a book the other day, and I don't remember which book it was, but anyway, it was saying in the book that happiness comes from solving problems. When you don't solve problems, you stop being happy. So if you solve a problem now, depending on the complexity of that problem in your day-to-day life, you will feel happier after having solved that problem than before you did it. And solving that problem is going to bring joy to you, like it's going to bring fulfillment to you. But
what do you mean by problem? Do you mean in terms of like a large problem, which would be, I don't know, like getting over a grief or getting over
I think it's all of these things. I think it's all of these things combined, I think it's all of these things combined. Like obviously you have goals, and that like those goals are going to be like the main ones that like make you happier like in the long term. But day to day as well, like you have like these mini wins, and like these mini wins can contribute to like the big win, which is supposed to be happiness.
Yeah, I think that's so important as well, because the military always do something which has always resonated with me, which is making your bed in the morning.
Exactly.
Mundane.
Exactly.
But it's the first win of the day. And like making it in the correct way, in the correct corners. I mean, I don't do that for shit. What I do is I make the bed. But I mean, ultimately, like if you get up in the morning, you make the bed, boom, done. First accomplishment.
Exactly.
What's next?
I mean, look behind me, bro. Look behind me. Look at this perfectly made bed. Do you see how disciplined I am? This is self-discipline right here, sir.
Stunning, mate.
Damn,
Stunning.
it's crazy.
I'm just pleased that you're filming this in your bedroom. to be on your OnlyFans next week.
Yeah. Hashtag booty JV.
There you go. Yeah, so no, as you say, like, and as I was sort of going on, little wins, and those are the things that once you build those up and make them consistent, it's the little ones that you make consistent. Like striving for something like you take debt. Debt, I always think is a good one. So someone's in debt and they're constantly worrying about debt. If you're constantly worrying about it and constantly thinking about it, then you're not actually getting organization. You have a chaos. And I think a lot of like unhappiness comes from the fact of being in a chaotic state. So if you can gain like organization, so take that debt, how are you going to deal with it? Whatever it is, you sit down, make a plan, breathe, and think to yourself, okay, how can I do this? And step by step. So each month, put on a spreadsheet on whatever computer style that you use. Make an Excel spreadsheet and lay out, I owe this much money. My payment plan is this much. There will be a direct debit from my account that will go to this account. Bang. Now, you can stop thinking about it because you've written it down on a piece of paper, you've organized it physically, and so you don't need to theorize it anymore because it's already done. So that's one way of organizing. It's the same with weight loss. So you want to lose 10 kilos. You don't lose 10 kilos. You lose. You lose. Well, what are you guys working? You work in pounds, don't you?
No, we work in kilos here. I'm in Canada.
Ah, okay, yeah. So like, you want to lose 10 kilos, right? You don't lose 10 kilos. You lose 0.25 of a kilo, half a kilo, 1 kilo, and then you add it up. You can't run a marathon in one go. You have to run it per 50 meters, per 100 meters.
Yes, 100%.
It's like my favorite theory on that is illustration of it is the car with the headlights. You can drive from Toronto to New York with only at night and only see 20 feet in front of you because of your headlights. But you get there, you just chip away those 20 feet each time.
I think that's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, that's a very good metaphor.
So I do think there's a bit of a chaos theory with it, which is basically like, if you can get things organized, breathe, get a plan. I don't know why I can't say breathe very well. Get a plan of action and set it out, then you can immediately alleviate that issue. I also think that one of the biggest things with happiness is the circle that you keep.
Yeah.
If you're around people who are constantly negative, like you could do something really big. You can go out and, I don't know, buy a new car, or you can have just rented or bought your new house or something like that. You go to a dinner party or a party or something, you get chatting to the wrong person, boom, you can lose that enthusiasm that you've got from the day in minutes.
100%. You remember the 48 laws of power? It says avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Because misery loves company.
Yeah, I call them mood hoovers.
Yeah, man, it's exactly that.
They're people that they get annoyed with your happiness because of the fact that they're not trying to come up to your level; they're trying to bring you down to theirs. So you got to be so happy. I always say, givers have to set limits because takers never will.
100%, 100%.
And we forget that. People forget that because you can be generous by nature and get yourself into a situation where generosity isn't just a physical thing. You're not just giving away something financial, something physical. It's also something emotional where you're giving away a little part of you. It costs good positive energy to bring someone up. Now, some people are worth doing, but you can't do it constantly.
Yeah.
So I really think like the circle that you keep is probably the number one most important thing for whatever mindset you're going to come out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I think? You know what I think people are like, I'm not going to say mediocre, but you know what I'm going to circle back to what you were saying basically. Like, I think it has to do with like bite-sized little goals. Everybody wants to like start doing things immediately. They want to, like, if they want to lose for example 10 pounds, like you said, they're gonna be like, okay, I gotta like follow this this intense workout, I gotta follow this intense like regimen, I gotta follow this intense diet, and they try to do it all at once, but it's not like bite size. It's not like 1% every day. They want to just like do the whole, like, it's like they think it's like a whole light switch effect where it's like black and white from one day to the next. It can't be like that, because the moment you start doing this, it's gonna be like, it's gonna rely fully on willpower, and the moment you start relying on willpower 100%, you lose endurance, and so after like a few days, like, you just run out of gas. It has to be like,
yeah, totally agree.
Exactly. It has to be gradual. It has to be like every single day is another step forward. You become better, so you actually build that habit over time. Because it takes days, like, I think months. I think like between a month and two to like create a habit.
26 days, 21 days.
Man, I've heard like 20 something. I've heard 60 something. It depends on like the person, but yeah, between a month and two, basically, to create a habit. And like people, they just want to like, okay, from today, I'm drinking water every single day. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not. I'm working out at least 4 times in a week. And it's like, you can't do it like that. You gotta be like day by day. Okay, today I'm gonna start with the gym. Okay, then I'm gonna continue with the nutrition after a week. Then I'm gonna start, decreasing the amount of calories I take in every single day, and then we become better every day. And you can translate that into any other area of happiness. It's not just about like fitness. You gotta be like day by day, step by step.
It's quite a good point that you make there with the fitness side of it. Is like you kept saying the word intense, and I think when people want to change something, they have to be careful that intensity is great, like, but it's always in short bursts. If you do something as an intense person, you can only do it for a short amount of time. You can only sprint for a certain amount of distance, but you can jog for a very long way.
100%.
So when you say intensity, I've always got this like theory when I'm talking to people about like working out and stuff. Change the little thing. First of all, make your own plan. If it's your own plan, it shows your interest. You're the one that's spending the time invested in what you're going to achieve. And then you find your enthusiasm from different people, other people who will give you advice find it from someone else, and it doesn't always ring true, which therefore will mean it's not yours. And the other side of it is, if you've got something that like a workout plan, for example, and you're going to the gym consistently, not hard, because there's no point like brutalizing yourself and not being able to go the next day. I always say work out for the next day. So don't kill yourself. You're better off going 75% every day than you are 100% for 2 days. It's much better having that consistency.
Yeah, 100%. Consistency is a lot better than like intensity. Like, there's a quote I heard, it's like, long-term consistency is always better than short-term intensity, and I believe that's just so true. But intensity is important, but like not every time, like just in certain key moments.
Yeah, it has its place. It's like anything, it all has its place. But if you're trying to make a long-term plan, then you have to have something that's going to go the distance. And the other side of it is, if you've made something your own, and in terms of like a workout especially, I mean, we'll move on to other things, but for a workout, it's always a good example. If you've put it together and you're doing it consistently, you're enjoying it, you kind of got the rhythm, you know what you're going to be doing next, you've got your structure. And someone comes along and says, no, you don't do a squat like this, you don't do a bench press like this, you don't do shoulders like this, you do it like that. My advice would be to genuinely like just ignore that person a bit and carry on doing exactly what you were doing. I think it's better to go do anything. It's better to do anything in life 75-80% consistently than it is to do it 100% and then just die out, because it's no longer yours. You're no longer that interested. It changes your momentum, and momentum's a big thing.